Hello to all my friends out there. How you guys? Well, it's the 15th of the month and I have been incredibly cheap all month. I've been in my car. It's overcast here. We're supposed to get a little rain. There's some very treacherous wintry weather out there in the U.S. It's very dangerous. So the car living thing is coming along nicely. The best way to learn how to do something is to do it. So someone said, well, you're a fake car dweller. No, I live in my car from the time I get up until it's dark just as much as any other car dweller. It's just that I live in a townhouse when I get home. And so I had some questions. Can we see your house? You guys have seen it, but I'm gonna show you some more stuff. I wanted to show you my freezer because there were some comments that people doubted there was a house. But I will tell you all the time that I pack my freezer with bread and meat, and I bought that bread and meat marked down. If you can get the hang of the markdown shopping, whether you live in a car or a house, it is going to stretch your budget so far. Like last night I showed you the soup. Oh, I'll show you my watch. This is a watch I bought one day, a Soft Tech watch. Just a pretty watch. And I went to the swap meet. That's one of my best sources of getting stuff. My car is getting all beat up since I've been living in it. Last night I caught the edge of my car and ripped off the plastic in my own garage. But my best source of junk to get is the swap meet. That's where I got this watch. And I went there and I saw a nice watch and I said, how much? And he said $50, and I thought, wow, I want to get that watch, but I don't want to pay $50, not even. So he had a lot of stuff, and I scrounged around, and I got 5 watches, and I said, well, how much for all 5? And he said, well, how much would you pay? And so, I go, well, $20, and he goes, I've got to make some money. How about 30? So I really wasn't thinking about the other watches I bought. I go, okay, and I bought it right away. But when I got home, I realized I had gotten quite a few good watches. Sometimes I will buy bulk jewelry and I will get some good stuff, but generally it's much better if I hand pick it. So even if you live in a car, I would pile my car, not pile it, because you can't pile it because you need space. This would be bad if I had to live in here, and it's because the car is very small and it's very hard for me to get from the back seat to the front seat without opening a back door. It can be done, but if I had to do it in a hurry, it would be dangerous. And so I was telling my son, as I've been doing this, I think maybe buying a small trailer might be a good idea. I'm thinking about that now after this, how you learn stuff. Anyway, so, and I think it'd be safer for all kinds of reasons. And you could pull it somewhere really cheap in the country and park it. Okay, so I packed some food. I want to show you what I packed. Okay, at Grocery Outlet, I bought this milk, and it doesn't expire until March 21st, and I bought 12 of them. These are good, and they're really good for cooking. So I buy crackers, because if you live in a car, crackers and bread, okay, I bought these for $1. If you don't like discount shopping, how about Aldi's? I bought hot hamburger buns for 50 cents marked down, and soup. That would be $1. It'd be so much better to buy that and get 2 items instead of, like, this was $1, but if I bought the hamburger buns and a can of soup, I would get so much more food. I put my tuna that I didn't eat yesterday I bought sandwiches across the street at Walmart. I got this at the food pantry. I've had this for a year. Now is the time. I'm eating my stockpile down. So once you get a stockpile, you can go weeks to months. I bought these for 50 cents at Walmart, but they also had them 89 cents for, I think it was 6 at Aldi's. Aldi's has some pretty good deals. And then remember this fruit juice? I'm thinking about putting some protein powder in that. And what is this? Oh, I have some cereal, you know. So that would be some ideas for stockpiling food in the car. So, if one was to get, if really bad weather was coming, the thing to do would be find a parking structure. Okay, we have a parking structure in this town, the DMV, and it's possible that you might be able to pull in there, you know, at all hours of the night. And we have a parking structure at Parkway Plaza. So if you're living in some area and you're living in a car, make sure you know where all the parking structures are. And a lot of times I think hospitals have them. It might cost a little to get in a hospital structure, you know, parking structure, but it would be worth it if it was some severe cold weather. So if you're in a car, be sure where you, I mean, you know, if something's happening, at least get under a bridge, take shelter. And out here, because we don't have cold weather, on the last rain, I mean, the street people were drenched. There was a guy out here living in the park in his tent, and his tent was totally and completely destroyed. He seems to be gone right now. People don't seem to be as broke. I think it's the stimulus. I'm not sure. But if you're living out, get out of the elements, the heat. A lot of people who do RV and car living don't aggressively pursue getting out of the heat and taking shelter from the cold, especially the rain. The one guy I saw over here, the one day they looked pretty good. The day of the rain, no, it was not good. Also, if you're living in a car, I think one of the best things one could do is get the Costco pizza, and you get a free drink refill. That's a good deal. Okay, I'm working on the minimalist stuff, and I was thinking, I don't really care for the sparse life. I really hate the decor, and also I really don't like the feng shui decor a lot. To me, it looks like a bunch of junk, or, you know, IKEA furniture. But what I'm working on is like creating comfortable places for myself to be. The idea of comfortable could be different for every single person, but sparse, lack of resources. You know, if you're caught in your house in some kind of blizzard, your money in the bank is not going to do you any good. You're going to need butane. You're going to need food. One of the followers made a good comment one time, and she said, you know, I'm a senior. I'd freeze to death and they'd let me starve. Well, they probably wouldn't want to let a person starve, but it could happen. So I was thinking, you know, as I'm working on the minimalism, I've like pulled everything out of the kitchen. The kitchen was a big mess. I said it wasn't that bad, but actually it's pretty bad. I'm still working on it. And so I was thinking, you know, as I'm working on this minimalism, I think maybe for me, everybody would be different. If I buy higher quality items that are going to last me, that are going to be comfortable, then I'm going to be a lot happier. And I'm going to be a lot more comfortable. So where maybe I'm going to buy some of these luxury items or high dollar items used, but maybe I'm just going to go ahead and fork out the money and, you know, get some comfortable stuff that is not too cluttery, that is not a bunch of junk. Like, I don't really prefer like a living room with a couch. No. I like some end tables. I want a nice television set. I'm attached to my carpets. I'm going to be buying some nice new dining room chairs, but, you know, not too cluttery, you know. Okay, so now there's been reports coming out of China that some of the Chinese people were, you know, very low on food. They couldn't get out and they couldn't. Now, I work with Asians, and Asians usually hoard money. And I try to imagine, they had pickles and something else. I forgot what the other thing. And I thought, you know, it was really hard to imagine Asians with no tea and no rice. But I guess if you ate it all, it could happen. But this was bizarre. You know, there was the last pandemic where we were all trapped in and there was resources. So I think people, at least around here, are hoarding food. There's not that much food as you would think on the shelves. But if you have rice, you can make rice milk. And if you have tea, you can make iced tea or hot tea. And if you have milk, you can put some milk in your tea. Another thing was I watch a variety of videos because I work at home. And I was watching videos on the Jim Jones cult. Remember, they all committed suicide. And one of the followers was saying the soil was no good, and all they had was rice. And that's all they had, rice 3 times a day. So this is bad. We want to protect ourselves from this. So if you're living in a car, to start, canned meat, canned fruit, canned vegetables, and canned soup. And if you don't have much money, I would get 50-cent cans of food. And I would also go to the food banks and food pantries and ask them, can you give me food that doesn't require cooking? That's another, because I live in a car, and that's another way to beef up your food storage. I was looking at my own video of the food storage, and one of the first things I saw was about 4 or 5 cans or boxes of biscuit mix. I saw boxes of powdered milk, you know. So milk is a good thing, you know, shelf-stable milk. I think it was about a month ago, I bought 10 shelf-stable milk from Dollar Tree. And so bread and meat for your car. And then if a good way to start, one way to make sure you don't run out of food is bread, potatoes, rice, cereal, and biscuit mix. And if you lived in a car, it would be bread or crackers. It would be cereal. And, you know, it would be any kind of dry food like chips or tortilla chips. Out here in California, people eat a lot of tortilla chips. Tortilla chips are really good because if you go to the food bank, they'll give you cans of beans a lot, but they don't give you chips. I noticed a lot of people, when I watch their car videos, they stuff tortillas, which is a good thing, and they combine hummus and beans. I think for myself, I would go for tortilla chips with beans and salsa or some kind of cheese dip. That would work too. I mean, it can be anything you want. And then I would go for sandwiches, a small fruit and a small vegetable. And so what I would do is I would just, you know, keep my eye out. And I'm getting ready to go over to Grocery Outlet. I bought a lot of nice stuff marked down there really, really cheap. And so what I would do is, you know, once I had my crackers, then all I need is some lunch meat. And so then also I would pursue. Now, if you're living in a car, why wouldn't you get all the free food you could? And, non-perishable food, and put it in the car. So that is what I would do. I wouldn't, and I would keep my car full of gas at all times so that I wasn't like out here. Some of the people I met, I was trying to help people, and they were they were penniless with 11 days before payday or Social Security. And of course, they didn't want to listen and buy any marked down food or buy any cheap food. Another thing that is a pretty good sandwich is bread, tomatoes, and lettuce. And out here, they mark the salads down. The Walmart salads that are $3, those are $2, and they're going to last for a couple days. So, okay, I think that's enough for today. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.